Okay, what we have is rules when multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting with significant digits. We've already learned significant digits and when a number and a measurement was measured, and especially zeros and when they weren't measured. So we'll go ahead and practice that, recognizing how many digits are significant in a measurement, and then go ahead and doing a calculation. So multiplication, division. If we look at the two measurements here in the first division, 8.2 grams divided by 4.6 milliliters, what we can do is we can recognize that this is two significant digits, the 8.2, and then the 4.6 is two significant digits. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a calculation, and so we're going to take 8.2 divided by 4.6. We get an answer out that is a long number on the calculator, depending upon how many digits your calculator shows. This one shows it out quite a ways. Okay, and then of course we're not going to use all those digits. So the rules of multiplication division is for you to do the calculation and then look at your measurements, and the one that has the fewest number of significant figures, then that's going to indicate how many you're going to use in your final answer. So 8.2 has 2 and 4.6 has 2, so I can only have 2 in my answer. So I'm going to take my first two digits in my answer, and then I'm going to round up or down the third one. So this 8 I'm going to round up or down depending upon what I need to do. So the answer is 1 point, and then 7 would round up to 8, and then that would be my answer with the units grams per milliliter. So on the first one, we have two significant digits that we would have in our answer. Alright, second one. We look at 12,000. These zeros are trailing zeros with no decimal. They do not, you can't assume that they're part of the measurement, so there's two significant digits here. And then 0.050, the zero in front doesn't count. The zero behind does count. And so there's two significant digits there. So then when we do the calculation, we get this answer that's comes out to be 600 meters squared. So then we look at that number and realize if I leave it in this form, I'm only showing one significant digit, and I need to show two according to the rule when you multiply, divide, add and subtract, or multiply and divide. So that one only shows one, and so what I need to do to show that extra zero, this zero being significant, I need to put it inside of notation. So it would be 6.0 times 10 to the second meters squared. So now that zero is significant because there's a decimal and it's behind a non-zero digit. So what I'm going to have you do is practice on your own these three examples, and when you're done, then we'll talk about those answers. So go ahead and do those three examples right now. Okay, now that you've had time to do that, we'll take a look at the first one. We have four significant digits in the first number measurement, and then two in the second measurement. So I can only have two in my answer, so I'm going to take my first two, and the rest of these digits down to where the decimal would be zeros. So it'd be 7, this 6 will round it up, so that becomes 7, 7, and then the rest of them become zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that would be your answer for that particular problem. Okay, I miscalculated. So actually, the answer is supposed to be 766 and then a decimal here, the original answer. Okay, so I'll have to readjust that answer. So I still are supposed to have 2 significant digits. I still use the first 2. 7, the 6 rounds up, 7. Then I make the next one 0. So 770 would be the answer for that one. Number 2, I think the calculation is correct. So there's 3 significant digits. And then there's 3 significant digits. So I need to have 3 in my answer. So these first 2 zeros don't count. And then 3 more digits after that. So it would be 0.00704 would be the answer for that. The first one should be in grams per milliliter. And the second one would be centimeters squared. Okay? Okay, and then the last one, we have 1 significant digit here, and then we have 3 here. Thank you. Alright, and then once we do that, then we've got where we have show 1 significant digit in my final answer. This one's a little bit more difficult, more challenging. I can only show this first digit significant. The 5 rounds up though, so that becomes 4, then everything else is zeros. Okay? So that would be 4 to the 6. You could write it in scientific notation. Might look better on that. Okay, so those would be your answers. Okay, the last thing is adding and subtracting. They're a little bit different. What you do is you can line them up and kind of see where the decimal is located. And like on the first one, we'll say that these are grams and they measure out. We've got to add them all up. If you realize this is the most accurate. The second one is the least accurate because it only goes out to the 10th spot, and then this is in between. So when you guys add and subtract, you can only go to the least accurate measurement, and that would be, in this case, to the 10th spot. Okay, so when you add that all up and get your answer, you can only go to the 10th spot in your answer because we can't be any more accurate than the least accurate measurement that has been performed. So the answer is 65.535. So if that's the case, I can only go to this spot. Now on these, you don't count significant digits. All you do is look at the least accurate. So the answer is 65.5 grams. That's what it is. So let me have you do the last one. That one's probably a pretty difficult one, and then I'll explain it. But go ahead and do it. Okay, so when we look at accuracy, this is the most accurate number here, and then this would be the least because it only goes to the 10 spot where the 6 is at. So when I add that all up, that's the last digit I'm supposed to show as significant. So then my answer 17092.04. I can't use all that. I have to stop right here at that spot. So then my answer would be 17090. See, now this 0 is not significant. And I can't show it because in this one it wasn't significant. So that would be my answer in grams. Okay. So I need to give you the assignment. Your assignment is going to be in the book, and it's going to start with problem number 27, and end with 34. So let me get the page number for you. I believe it's 39 is the page number. what you're going to do is 27A through C, and then 31 through 34. And that is due on Wednesday.